Hi Linda, so here's the notes from the lesson today. So I've put your first swing on the left hand side, and then this was your second swing after we changed a couple of bits and bobs on the right hand side here. So I'll just run it through quickly. So it was a classic sort of big pulls to the left, and then you get a little bit slicey when you left the face open. And strike, actually striking the ball was a little bit of an issue. So we'll run through what we've changed and why we've changed. So initial setup is okay. So as we move the club back, you tend to kind of keep this right leg very, very bent, or it doesn't lose any flex on the way back. And what happens is, as you move back here, you hit a point where it creates a lot of resistance. And then as you start to swing even further back, you can see all the pressure now leans forward and goes into your toes. So the line I've drawn on your backside here at address, you can see how you come forward. So pressure goes into the toes, and then obviously arms work out in front of the body. Club path was, I think, about 18 degrees left on the first one. So we're going to struggle from that sort of position to create a consistent shot. So what we got you feeling at the top of the swing, or sorry, on the takeaway, was as you take the club back now, you lose flex in that right knee, which allows the hips to rotate more and the rib cage to rotate a lot more. And then at the top of the swing here, you can see that you've got the pressure now in the trail heel or the right heel, and you can see how you've stayed on the line that we drew on an address on your backside. So for someone who kind of comes across the ball naturally, we're just giving you a little bit more rotation, left arm's a little bit deeper and actually a little bit further back as well. So even just from there now, you're going to get some success in terms of creating a better swing direction or a better path. So as you work down on the old one and I put it in a position where the shaft becomes parallel to the ground versus where it is parallel to the ground now, you can see visually that it's much better. The club is a lot closer to the blue line. You've stayed a lot more back onto this line, and you hit this one pretty well, but it was still quite a leftward path. So if we now go into the third one that you hit, and we talked a little bit about feeling like it's going to come under, or the right arm very much feels like it's working underneath the left arm. So I draw again just the same line in hosel through the shoulder, okay, which is here. So again, as you take the club back now, again, so you've got that idea of the hands being just a little bit deeper and feeling like they're a little bit more behind that right shoulder. So for you, that's a good place for you to be. And then you can see now that they're totally different in terms of the transition, where you can see again all that pressure is in that right heel here. On the way down, the difference is totally seeable. Okay, so if I put you into position now where the shaft is parallel to the ground versus where the shaft's parallel to the ground on the old one, it's just totally different. And you can see that you've got this in the picture here, this swing plane perfector it's called. I've got polystyrene on it, but it's not really playing a huge part. It's quite a long way from where you're set up, so it's not like you're reacting differently because this is in the way. A lot of this is just because you understand where and why the hand should be and where the club head should be in relation to the hands. So if you look at where you are here, and again I'll just put your first one on and I'll stop it again in the same frame. When the shaft's parallel to the ground here, it's just totally different. So on this one now, you then created a rightward path, slightly closed club face, and again you can see from here how well you hit this. So this was right in the middle of the club and all the way down there. Okay, so you get that idea of the club almost swinging underneath that yellow line, whereas this one very much leftward. This one pretty much on top of the ball, because you get quite steep on this as well. Huge difference. I've given you the drills for you to do that on the range, and through repetition, it's then obviously just translating that into taking it onto the course. But if you can do that, you should dramatically reduce your scores.